Okay, I've got 12 o'clock.
Unmute, right?
Yes, it's okay. I've got 12 o'clock.
I'm not gonna talk to you.
Jenny and Victor here, and Judge Martinez and Judge Dillon are not here yet. So can you see us? Can you see me? There I am. Yeah. Victor's to my left.
Yes, okay. I've got 12 o'clock.
I'm not gonna talk to you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to cut off. We're live on Zoom on YouTube, and I had to go and cut that off because I was getting feedback from the YouTube broadcast
Okay.
coming back. But we're good now.
Okay.
All we need is a quorum.
It is Melvin's here, the Judge Martinez's assistant.
Okay. Y'all can take off. No, I'm good. Anybody gives me any trouble on Zoom, I just put them in the waiting room. I'm mess up my screen here.
So how are things going for you, Judge Wilson?
Good. It's just a long trial.
Still going on?
Yes, I need to talk to the attorneys again. Last I heard, they thought we would be going through Tuesday. So we already have a visiting judge set up. We have to see if we still need that.
Judge Dillingham is on her way.
What's that?
I said Judge Dillingham is on her way. She's out here.
Okay.
That was, it's from 1999. And I keep telling them this thing, but it should have been sealed, but it's just keeps popping up from history and it's affecting her ability to get a job. So she wanted to see what came to it.
Is this from another county? It's from here to South County. It's a 1999 case, and she said she applied to the dollars in PS. And then it shows up on her criminal record. What we never didn't know what it was, and then there were, it was, she kind of established that. And she says no, but that's what, well, that's a big, the disposition was so.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joanne Gonzalez.
I think Catherine did work on that, and we didn't have anything in our.
Right.
That was from before our time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's 1999.
Yes, also I think it's because there would have said an EPS TRN number with us, but there was without a parent name. So that's what's true. That's what's true.
That's it.
After come out of here, since the case was here.
No, that case is not the one that they're talking about. Solitaire.
This case is here.
Right.
That's the case here, but
That's coming up on the, she's the record, it's the one up here.
Can you verify?
We did.
But something in her writing so that
Sure.
someone on to get it to, so that she's, that way it just sends an email to Sonia that says, hey, we've checked this, this is not a LaSalle County record, this is a Terry County record, it's not a record. Send it that way, she knows that we're. We have to offer her tweets.
Yeah, we talked on just talking about that this week, so. I don't panic. Well, I don't have bills fine.
Give me just a moment.
Sorry?
I said, give me just a moment. I'm trying to
Okay. Should
And you said Judge Martinez is on his way?
Judge is doing on his iPad. He's actually on his way to prayer.
Oh, so he's zooming now.
Yes,
Okay.
he should be zooming in now.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Yes. And some of these were a little part in something that was for the situation.
all right. And Judge Martinez, are you able to hear us? I'm asking you to unmute.
I'm sorry, Judge, I don't think the end of what you said.
He's
And I
asking,
can,
Judge Martinez.
I can only understand about half of what I'm hearing from you. If you could maybe get the laptop a little closer.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right, so we called the meeting at 10:30 when it was posted and recessed until noon. We have all three judges present, so we have a quorum. First item is to review and take action on the minutes from Valentine's Day, February 15th, 2023. And y'all had a chance to review those.
Yes, sir. I'll make a motion to accept minutes as presented.
Is there a second? All right, seconded by Judge Dillingham. All in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous? All right, so. Review and take action on proposed line item transfers of the juvenile probation department. All right, Go ahead, Ms. Schaefer.
Have a little bit of a deficit. We've overspent in some of our supplies. We need to buy a few more supplies. So right now we're in the red, $564 in general supplies. And so we need to cover that. And then there's some other things that Cassie needs to buy for the office. So my proposal was to transfer $1,500 from professional, well, $3,000 from professional services, $1,500 of it would go to general supplies. And then the other $1,500 would go to travel and training, because Cassie has signed up for a post-legislative update in August. And that would just cover that, because she only has $250 left in her line item. So
I had asked for her to attend that training, and also another training on cartel movement from because of the invasion we're having, and we're having a lot of it. So I think the $1,500 for that is not going to be enough.
okay, do we want to increase that then?
Yeah, I think we so we won't have to revisit on this item again.
But I think it's that training in September. I was thinking that was after in the next fiscal year.
Well, not for the CUNY. It may be next state fiscal year, but I'm not sure how that works with our budget here.
Yeah, county runs from December to,
Yeah, but our junior board budget is September 1 through August 31st. We go with the state.
Okay, because I know Frio County, I think they're on the October 1 budget year, aren't they?
Yeah, Frio County is October 1, LaSalle County is January 1, but both of our all state is September 1 through August 31st. I can verify with
All right, so Judge Martinez, does that satisfy your concern if it is in the next budget year?
As long as she's able to attend, that's the main thing, because we're dealing with a lot of juveniles that are either working for cartel or being exposed by the cartel, and we need somebody, trained in that department, especially,
Well, and then we can just go ahead and transfer another $1,000 to cover that. If y'all like to do that, just to increase the travel and training from 1,500 to 2,500 and decrease the professional services by 4,000. If y'all want to do that,
How much money is that?
so 29,500. So we're 29,550.
Judge Martinez, where is that training? Do you think $1,000 will cover the cartel training with accommodations and the training cost?
it's gonna be pretty close. I believe it's in Austin or Georgetown area.
Okay.
And
1,500.
So let's make the professional services, increase that $5,000 and then put 3,500 into travel and training. And then 1,500 into general supplies.
Okay.
okay,
How does that sound?
I think that should be plenty to cover those trainings.
All right, so Judge Martinez, you're making a motion to approve the line item transfers as amended?
As amended, 3,500 and 1,500. Yes, sir.
All right.
And I second.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I second.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, and let's move over to number 3 just for a moment. Number 4, suicide prevention intervention training for
Yep.
July 25th with Camino Real.
We didn't.
She would not turn, but
No, the general supplies. You overspent in your general supplies. $64. So just in the future, we shouldn't overspend as we're a governmental entity. So you have to have permission in order to do that, because if you're overspending, then, I mean, if it's just like it was a fiasco, we had no idea. But if it's something like office supplies and this supply line, those kind of things, we shouldn't have those.
well, actually, they tried to pull that back. They tried to pull that back when they found out there was in there, and it had all gone through already. So I guess they determined, order.
But just as for redeeming the expenditures, just make sure we are
Okay,
tight on it.
we shut it down.
That's a felony if you're a federal military officer. All right, suicide prevention training. Item 4, we're pass over 3 for a moment.
Okay. I have a flyer for y'all. We have a suicide prevention training in have one in LaSalle County on July 25th and one in Frio County on July 19th. And it's for law enforcement, social service agencies. We coordinated this. Camino Real is going to be presenting. We've done this in the past. We did a human trafficking training, and it's just, we coordinated and provided to the community. So I have flyers for y'all, just so you know what we're doing, what's going on.
Okay, so that's just informational.
Correct.
Okay. All right, and on the bills, have the other judges had a chance to look at the bills that were attached to the packet?
And these are bills, I want to that these are bills that have already been paid. We're just blessing them. We're just reviewing, letting you know that they have been paid.
All right, any questions or comments about the bills?
I have none.
All right, so is there a motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve bills as presented.
Judge Dillingham seconded it. All in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay, item 3, discuss, take action on a separation of Frio and LaSalle juvenile probation departments. Who wants to start?
I'll go ahead and start this. And this is just for if more information than action right now, we can probably revisit if we need to take action. But I'm looking in the best interest of LaSalle County and their juvenile probation department. I believe that I'm talking to Liz and talking to different our county attorney and I think we're stable enough that we can either wean off of Frio County and continue our own juvenile department like we were in the past.
Okay, and Ms. Schaefer, how many, to keep approval from the state, what's the minimum sort of staffing as far as coverage for juvenile officers and things like that, that a department has to have?
The amount,
Well, I mean, how many folks are you looking at?
I can give you an overview of the two
I
departments
can't
and,
understand any of that.
sorry,
I can't understand any of that. I'm sorry. If you maybe get a little closer.
why we split and when we split and how long we've been joined together.
No, my question is, what would it look like if we wanted to set up independent departments in each county? What would the counties be looking at having to fund to have the minimum number of officers and supervisors and support personnel in each county?
Well, you would have to have a designated chief, they would have to have a designated data coordinator. I mean, that would be the only requirements. I think there's a lot of benefits to having the two departments together, but I'm not sure if you're wanting to hear that at this point.
Well, I mean, I want everybody to know, what are we looking at as far as how many extra positions would there have to be? Because my expectation is that what you're going to tell me is it's not a matter of each county can take their own budget and just do it on their own, that you're going to come up with something closer to double what the current budget is, because there's not a lot of extra personnel or overlap in what you're due, but I don't know that.
Okay, well, right now in LaSalle County, we have Cassie, who is a full-time probation officer, and then we have Nadia, who is a part-time secretary. As my proposal is to move Nadia to make her a full-time secretary, so you'd have a full-time secretary, and then Cassie would have to take on all of the responsibilities of the chief that I do, and unless she hires somebody else, she's going to have to do the probation officer duties and all the administrative duties. So, and then Nadia, in addition to, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they'd want to hire another probation officer.
So tell us about the budget. What's the total budget for both departments right now, and what portion is LaSalle's and what portion is Frio? Tell me the total.
Our budgets are completely separate. So Frio County, so LaSalle County gets, well, last year they got 92,000 from the state. This year they're going to get a little bit more money, 24,000 more than that. So they'll be getting 117,000 from the state. LaSalle County pays about 70,000 for Victor, Jenny, and Mona. Mona's the data coordinator over both departments. I'm the chief over both departments. Victor is the assistant chief over both departments. So 70,000 of the state and county funds, LaSalle County goes to fund 3 employees. Mona has 18 years experience. Victor and I are both over 30-year employees. So that's what you're getting for your 70,000, is you're getting the oversight and the experience, and that's why we were brought in the first place. So
And the funding from the state, is that partially on population, or how does the state figure their funding?
It's based on juvenile population, yes, sir.
Okay. And
And
what's the population of Frio County right now compared to LaSalle?
It's LaSalle is 7,500 and Frio is 20,000.
Okay,
I can tell you referrals, last year we had 14 referrals to LaSalle County and we had 64 referrals in Frio County. One of the benefits about being together is that they may only have one probation officer down here, but you have the benefit of 4 other probation officers that can cover when Cassie's on vacation, when she needs to go do something with her kids. We rotate call among 5 officers. If you were to split the 2 counties, then unless Cassie were to hire somebody else, Cassie would be on call 24/7. That is a lot to ask somebody to do. Once every 5 weeks right now is not that bad. Even if she were to hire a second probation officer, then she would be on call every other week, which is a lot when you're asking somebody who's trying to raise children and be involved in school activities and all that stuff. That's a lot. You could get called out of a football game and you've got to leave and go deal with it. So
Are there any grants that the 2 counties do together, like a truancy prevention grant? I know we asked about that in January, but did you apply for any grant maybe for this next year?
no, actually, as I said, the state is giving a little bit more money to each county, and it's just because the state had more money this year. And we are looking. We were talking to a lady over in Charlotte about doing maybe some equine therapy and individual therapy, and so I think Cassie will go over and visit with her, and see if that might be a possibility, something we can do. So yes, we'd like to bring some more programming in with these funds.
I think that's maybe one of the concerns that like the smaller counties have, certainly in regard to, I think, lower juvenile population of offenders, but they've got higher problems with truancy prevention and with vaping in the schools and with other things. So is there something where the 2 could get access to those services, since they have a smaller juvenile offender population in terms of larger crimes, but then put some resources aside so that they can have programming into the schools, programming, I mean, like even Carnes has grants through the state where they have 3 truancy prevention officers that go between all the schools and check in on the kids that are in that danger zone of 5 to 10 absences. And Eddie Delagarce goes and checks in on these kids. It doesn't pay very well, but it gets those kids those efforts. They do a vaping program, a sexting program. They do all those programs that are really beneficial to the kids. Do we have anything like that for the South?
We don't currently. Actually, when we started here, we had huge federal grants. And we had our own therapist, and we had our own LCDC full-time. When we took over in LaSalle County, we actually brought those services to LaSalle County. We don't have the numbers right now to run those groups. And Victor and I were talking about this on the way down. There are 7 kids that are currently on probation right now. Cassie supervises 6 of those. Victor supervises 1 of them. You can't run a group with those 7 kids because they're very diverse. You can't put a sex offender in with a 12-year-old runaway girl. We don't have the numbers like we used to, and I don't know why the numbers are down all over the state, but it makes group programming difficult. We are having success with our with referring out to South Texas Rural Health, and they're providing services to us to Camino Real for our programs. But yes, we are looking into that. I know I was going to meet with Judge Camacho about some bullying intervention and some other programs that she has learned about. So, we're looking at doing that. But, we can do the stuff that we can provide for $24,000. You're not going to be able to have people come in and provide the services, but there are things that we can incorporate into our program, and the personnel that we have can provide those for the kids. So it's more cost efficient.
You got a session, Judge Martinez mentioned the trafficking interest, have some sort of trafficking program at the school, could find out. Really bring a speaker.
And we do, we go to the strands, we do that on an individual basis with our kids. And
I think it's one little service though, or services to kids that are at risk. I think, is that your goal, Judge Martinez, is to have?
Yes, we gotta put a preventative measure, before they hit our courts and before they get into probation. And, the resources at the school or anything, I feel that we're not getting no resources from the department right now. So that's why I was, looking into either branching off or weaning off, eventually, because I've had several people that I know that have come up to me and offered resources out of Webb County, out of Atascosa. Judge Coots is a big supporter, and he's offered me free beds for LaSalle County, and LaSalle County has never had a free bed. We've been paying the $250 every time, and finding out that Frio County has a free bed, but not LaSalle.
well, let me explain how that works, how the free bed over the detention center works. There is one free bed, and the Central Texas Chiefs Association has put up, I think it's $50,000 for the free bed, and it's a first come, first served basis. So actually, the very first bed we ever got was LaSalle County got the free bed. We didn't really know that because they had just set it up. But LaSalle County has had a free bed and Frio County has had a free bed, but you've also got all of the other counties in Central Texas. So you have to call and you have to find out that there are no other beds available anywhere else. And then you call and say, hey, Atascosa, I need that free bed. And they'll say, sorry, it's not available, or it is available. So it's just a matter of luck. They were the very first one to have it.
But they still have it.
No. It's a first come. There is one bed.
It's a free.
For Central Texas, there's one bed. No, we don't have it now. We have and we had to get the kid out in 3 days. So they want the kid out within 3 days. So it's not a long-term free bed. They were on the phone with us. Hey, you need to get this kid out, but somebody else needs it. It's just an emergency bed, but it's not always there and it's not always available.
Okay.
So it sounds like Judge Martinez does talk to Judge Dubuque about their options. That's something you could just chat with their probation.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
And about the resources for the schools, Judge Martinez?
Yes.
What sort of programs are you looking for?
Off the top of my head, anything. I just any programs. We have none. Parenting classes. It just anything. If we could get, we have no parenting classes in LaSalle County. We have no GED programs. We have nothing that these kids can, we offer any of these kids. Preventing. We'd rather have them out in the street, getting into trouble. Because the school district right now doesn't have a truancy program, and really they don't enforce anything because they don't need the money, and that's what it boils down to. So we have kids that haven't been enrolled in years, and these are young kids that I'm being told, and nothing's being done about it.
We don't get those truancy cases. We don't get those. Truancy doesn't come to juvenile probation anymore. That's a school issue. So,
Is the school just not doing it, or?
I don't know what the school is doing over there with that, but even if the school's not doing it, so these kids are getting into trouble because they have no guidance at home or nothing, and that's where the kids we're seeing out in the streets and getting into this small vandalizing and stuff like that. And unfortunately, all those cases really don't get to into probation until they do something big.
That's true. I mean, we can do presentations at the school, that's not, we have done that in the past. You know, I'll be glad to sit down and talk with you and come up with some ideas, Judge Martinez.
Okay.
Of,
I mean, but there's a lot of different other programs. You know, DEA has a program that they want to bring in, all kinds of other things, and they've been asking me, you know, and I'm taking them up to the superintendent, so we can get these programs in line. But my thing is, I don't think LaSalle County is benefiting any, you know, in being in this dual partnership with Frio. That's how I'm reading the numbers. The numbers the money that we put out, I don't think we're getting our return on them.
okay, so let's do adjournments. I would be glad to that I've been doing this a long time, and I
Yep.
promise it office, and I do my duties for LaSalle County. I don't come down here, don't show anybody and tell anybody what I'm doing. I have a list here. I do the budget, I do the quarterly expenditure reports, I do the juvenile board meetings, agendas, minutes, resource surveys, salary surveys, hiring and firing, employee interviews, background checks, training, investigations, department oversight, on call. I'm the inter-county transfer person for both counties. I do the contracts for both counties, state and service providers, certification training records for everybody, applications for training for recertification. You know, we're doing this sponsor training here. I know you don't see me down here doing that. I'm doing that from my computer up there. One of the biggest benefits that we have is that we have the pooled knowledge of 5 probation officers who have, 3 of us have over 30 plus years experience. We staff every case that comes through our office. So if Cassie is out for some reason, we know what's going on here. We can step in, we can handle the case. Every decision in small counties, a lot of times you'll have people say, they'll come in and they'll complain and they'll say, well, you're just doing this to me. You're just picking on my kid because, you know, you went to school with me. You don't like me, you know, whatever the local politics come into it. You know, Cassie's able to say, hey, that is not the case. This is the department that did this. I have 2 supervisors and the whole department together staffed this case and made this decision. This is not my decision, you know, and that's, you know, as they all tell me, it feels supported in being able to do that. In a small town, it's easy to be pressured into doing things, and you know.
Well, let me ask Judge Martinez, are there specific programs, you said you've spoken to Judge Cute, are there specific programs that you want the LaSalle County and Cotulla to be participating in, or are there just types of issues that you'd like to see help on?
Especially on the drug program and the fentanyl, it's in our community, and it's just a matter of time for us to, you know, start acquiring a death in it. There's a big drug problem, you know, especially in our juveniles. There's vaping, there's all this, and we can be doing preventative measures to, you know, do that, especially with the juvenile department. You know, as much money as LaSalle County puts into the juvenile, you know, I'm back at it again. I'm gonna beat a dead horse, but I'm not getting enough for my buck. You know, we're paying for a service, and I feel that our county is not receiving those services. So if we can improve it, even better. You know, We have, y'all designate so much money for, for y'all threes with Mona, Jenny, and Victor get a certain percentage. LaSalle County doesn't see them. I haven't seen Mona in the past 2 months. Why? I have no idea, but I do keep track.
Well, I will tell you this, that there was an issue about LaSalle County not wanting to pay mileage for Mona to come down. Mona was coming down once a week and was training Nadia. Nadia is a brand new secretary who's been here.
But why should I pay mileage if she's getting money from LaSalle County to provide a job?
Because she gets a very minimal amount of money. She gets $11,000. And it's in the policy manual that she's obligated to it. I will say that Victor and I have never gotten, it is in the policy manual and we could apply for it when we come down here. We never have done that. That's just something from the
In
beginning.
the past years, LaSalle County had never received a mileage request. Not until I came into office, that's when we started seeing these mileage requests. And I've only
Because
seen
they're
one come through.
We should have a vehicle like
Yeah.
that, should stop over now.
No, and there was not a secretary down here. So Mona was doing everything from her office down there and,
Hey, Judge Martinez, do y'all have any surplus sheriff's Tahoes, like any old ones that are going out of circulation that are sitting at the sheriff's office?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. But I'm sure we confiscate all kinds of vehicles left and right.
One of the things that Carnes did to help with the Carnes and Wilson situation where we eliminated mileages, we had a vehicle in our rotation that we declared surplus and we gave it to the juvenile court and it goes on the juvenile, they have to pay the insurance and deal with it, but like we gave them like a sheriff's Tahoe that they get to get one of the investigator ones with seats and everything so that if they even had to take a kid and drop them off somewhere, they had the ability to do that.
Yes. Because Mona gets $11,756 from LaSalle County to provide her services on whatever she does. And that's where I feel that I don't need to be paying mileage on that. Because she's already getting paid for that job.
okay, she's our data coordinator and I'll explain to you what she does. She does all the data entry, the oversight,
Yes.
the training, the state reports, the annual quarterly reports. We are always on time, always get 100%. Those CJIS numbers for the juveniles that are at 100%, and everybody knows those CJIS numbers are very important because that affects the grants that the counties can apply for. That's because of Mona. They had a training down here while just did. She has.
I can't hear you guys doing again.
But it's a cost annual, that was approved, it's she brought up to address the cost, so rather than.
Maybe at our next meeting, we just address whether or not we want to increase the salary to take into account the mileage or continue to pay mileage and then discuss whether that's appropriate. Or do nothing and say, hey, the policy manual says no mileage, this is the salary, which when you took this job, you were not working for 2 counties, even though your primary office is in Pearsall, then if you have an obligation in Cotulla, that's just part of the job and then figure out if that works or doesn't work, maybe.
Yeah, I'm with her. That's part of her job duties. I can't tell her where to live. But my thing is, in the past years, we had never received the mileage and she was going and coming.
Well, at one time we did have Cassie taking files to Frio County, and we just decided that was not a good idea to have the files on the road. If Cassie were to have an accident, you've got kids' files out there, so you can have it to. So we thought, it seems to be more efficient for Mona to come down here. We didn't have 2 computers at that time. Now we have 2 computers, set up 2 desks.
So did she get paid mileage?
No.
I think that's his question. It's like,
No, because Cassie was taking, or whoever probation officer was taking the files down there for data entry to Frio County. No, she's just started coming here.
The beginning of the year.
Right. Right.
And that's where I'm our treasurer questioned it, brought it to my attention. That's why I'm questioning it.
Right, it's minimal. What is it? What's it, what are the mileage of?
It's $67 a trip.
A trip, once a
Yep.
week. Well, I mean, that's certainly, we could address that at our budget meeting. We'll have another budget meeting before the year, before the next fiscal year, so if that's something I would like to be able to do. Sorry. We're $42,000 underspent for LaSalle County. We are not going over budget. We have a cash $90,000, and that's based on what they spent in 2006. So 60, I just looked at it a few years back, it was like 60,000, 66,000 is what we spend a year out of county funds. So
Pretty much we're overspending.
yeah,
We're not overspending.
we're definitely not overspending. We're actually very.
No. Y'all ain't
Compared-
overspending. That's not the concern of overspending. The concern is that LaSalle County ain't getting the services they're paying for. Those are our concerns. And there's where, there's the reason that I think we can, find the resources, bring the juvenile, there's no issues with the juvenile department, but I feel we can do more. And, that's just the way I think. And I think the preventative on juvenile is a big issue and we need to do something. And, me spending the 70,000 or we allocate 116,000 with benefits and everything, LaSalle County ain't getting the benefit, bottom line. That's where I'm at. I think we can either improve it or I believe we can run it on our own. And I think that's where the direction I want to go towards, running on our own before like they used to in the past.
Okay. I think what we can do is, if I could make a suggestion, is let's let Ms. Schaefer look into some prevention methods that are put in a strategic plan for the rest of the year and see if that's something that can improve what we have currently and put us on a path to seeing if we can improve that. And if it doesn't work out, then we come back here and address that planning and say that planning is inadequate and we want to proceed in a different manner if we want to redirect from that time. Do you think that if we give her a month to just work on a plan, come up with it, then prior to the school year, then that gives you this beginning of the fall school year to kind of get some things in place and coordinate? Would that be acceptable to you?
That will be acceptable, within 30 days. And that still gives me plenty of time to add it to our budget if we decide to separate.
When is your, y'all are,
January 1st.
September 1.
so
Yes.
then,
It's December 31st, but I'd like to have it before October 1.
okay, so then I say we meet before, like early August before school starts to address it. Okay,
But we will have to have a budget in place September 1 for the departments. For the juvenile.
let's just work on that plan.
Okay.
All right, and
I'm good with that.
And then let's look at our calendars to see if we can, where we are the first week of, or the second week of August.
Sounds good.
I'm in a jury trial in Wilson County the week of the 7th, but the week of the 14th, you're in a murder trial the week of the 14th, so.
Yeah, the 11th is the Friday of that week of the 7th.
What about the 11th? Judge Martinez, is the 11th good with you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'll make it happen. That's no problem.
August 11th.
Let's do August 11th. And then how about, can we do it 10 a.m.?
Perfect.
If your jury trial will be over, yes. So
And we'll do all of our budget and all of that at that time.
We can add those things, but yeah, we'll just move this agenda item over there. Let's move this agenda item to August 11th and then also add to it a subcategory of prevention and strategic planning for the school year this year, like looking into.
Okay.
That'll work.
So moved to move. I don't know if you want a formal action to move that, but
We can table this action till August 11th. I'll make a motion to table auction, said line item till August 11th meeting.
a second.
All in favor, aye? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, so that will be items for the next agenda. Maybe a briefing about what sort of programs, and let me ask Ms. Schaefer, are there programs that you do through the school or with the school's cooperation right now?
Are
Do
there,
you have any or schools to do programming?
No.
Can send you some interlocals, please. I can get her, I volunteer, I have some interlocals from Melissa that I can get her that will assist her in the process.
Okay. All right, and let me look at the Zoom meeting here, hold on.
are you wanting intervention program with kids that are not on probation? Because the services, the needs are being met for the kids that are on probation. So you're wanting programs into school,
Kind of like the Chins kids and the kids.
interventions that we don't have referrals. So.
No, not referrals. Even if we have contacts with them, those aren't being counted on there. We're just, there's more than enough contacts with Cassandra there at the school to have a.
Frio County. All right, so I have Judge Martinez, Judge Dillingham, Jenny Schaefer, Lori Riley, and this is the same, you'll get a reminder of it, but it's this, and they'll go in your calendar if your calendar links in, but it's the same meeting number. If you don't have that, you can just use any of the
Okay.
anytime. And are you also, is somebody going to check into whether there's a sheriff's department vehicle in one of the counties that would be available for department use between the two seats?
I'll ask Sheriff Morse too, if he has anything that he's declared surplus that he just happens to have. And I'll inquire as to both counties, and if Judge Martinez can maybe see it.
I can reach out to.
I'll do the same.
Okay, and
Awesome.
Ms. Schaefer, do you have a laptop there?
With me, no, sir.
We're on a
I mean,
laptop.
I'm at the top.
Okay, if you look in chat, there is I signed the minutes from last time and posted them in chat. You can download them if you do it before you leave the meeting. And I also sent a link. It doesn't have to be this particular one. Actually, I don't know if it'll work or not. I just sent a description from Amazon. It may be my ears, but I'm only hearing about 2/3 of what's being said there in the courtroom. It's just like a $20 plug-in conference USB microphone for a laptop to use in Zoom meetings and things like that.
Okay.
Laptops are meant to, you're sitting right in front of it like I am with mine, and we have the same problem whenever we try to turn my microphone and have 3 or 4 people at the bench in a Zoom hearing.
Gotcha. We've got it here, we've got the chat, so we've done both.
Okay. All right, anything else?
No, sir.
Pleasure to see you all. I'm going to adjourn.
Thank y'all.
I'll second it. All in favor, leave. All right.
Aye.
Unanimous. Aye. All right. Have a good day. Don't get too hot.
Bye-bye.